Helium is the second most abundant element in the universe, so it feels obvious that we'd have plenty of it. We don't. Earth cannot physically hold onto helium. A helium atom is light enough that once it drifts to the top of the atmosphere, it's gone. Every balloon that slips out of a kid's hand isn't litter. It's a shipment leaving the planet permanently. So if the planet can't keep helium, where is the helium we actually use coming from? Not from Earth's original supply, that was lost long ago. Ours was manufactured underground, atom by uranium and thorium decaying in the crust over hundreds of millions of years. That helium seeps slowly upward until something stops it. And the thing that stops it is the same impermeable rock that traps natural gas, which is why helium isn't mined. It's found, separated out of natural gas streams at a handful of plants, and only where the concentration is unusually high. Fractions of a percent is what makes a field worth processing. Here's where it gets strange. The United States once decided helium was a military resource. This was the airship era, and built the Federal Helium Reserve, a giant underground store in a rock formation near Amarillo, Texas. For decades, one hole in the ground in the Texas Panhandle held a huge share of the world's helium. In 1996, Congress ordered the reserve sold off to recoup what it had cost. Stockpiled helium got dumped onto the market at administratively set prices. Critics have argued ever since that this kept helium artificially cheap enough that putting an irreplaceable element into party balloons looked completely reasonable. So what is helium actually for, if not floating things? It is the coldest liquid that exists, boiling about 4 degrees above absolute zero. And that single property makes it the only practical way to cool the superconducting magnets inside an MRI scanner. Hospitals are among the most important helium customers on the planet. The same properties show up everywhere else that matters: cooling superconducting magnets in particle accelerators and fusion experiments, inert atmospheres for welding and semiconductor manufacturing, leak detection, deep-sea diving gas mixes, purging rocket fuel systems before launch. Now put those two facts together. All of that depends on a short list of gas plants in a short list of countries: the United States, Qatar, Algeria, and more recently Russia. The market lurches through shortage after shortage. A single plant going down has visibly rippled through world supply several times in the past 2 decades, and research labs have had to pause experiments outright when their allocation got cut. There is good news, and it's real. Modern MRI machines recycle their helium far better than the old designs. Some new magnet designs need dramatically less of it. And recovery systems in labs now capture boil-off that used to just vent to the ceiling and eventually straight off the planet. But you might assume that if we run short, we substitute something else. For some jobs, sure, lifting gas, inert gas, there are alternatives. For getting down to a few Kelvin, chemistry offers you nothing. No other substance stays liquid that cold. There is no backup material. My take is that helium is the clearest example I know of a price failing to carry information. For decades, the number on the tank said cheap industrial commodity, while the physics said finite, unrecoverable, and actively leaving the planet. Something made over geological time, lost the instant you release it, and required for medical imaging probably shouldn't be the same product we use for a squeaky voice at a birthday party. The only reason that sounds extreme is that the price never said so.